All praise to the creator, man. We out here, man. This is March the 15th, 2026. And we are talking about the Moon-Saturn matrix. We're going to use some slideshow pictures to make it easier for people to grasp what I think the Moon-Saturn matrix is. Let's see how fast we could do it without any errors. We should be confident that this is a one-shot thing. No looking around. We got everything we need right here, I believe. But we saw also see. Peace and salutes to everybody. Let's go ahead and give y'all a warning. It will be some ghost pictures seen in this. There will be some paranormal images seen in this. There will be some highly advanced. You know what? I forgot to put the. There will be some highly advanced technological pictures as well seen on this. And so, not a lot of people do content on the Moon-Saturn matrix. You know what I'm saying? So, without further ado, did I do this? So this is called the Moon-Saturn matrix, featuring is Netanyahu pretending to be alive. So there's rumors out there that Netanyahu has been deleted in a Iranian strike, and there's been so-called fake AI footage put out there to try to back up those claims. They've been shot down by Israel, and well, no pun intended, but Israel has refuted those claims, saying that Netanyahu is not dead, though we haven't seen or heard from him personally yet, which I think is pretty odd from someone to be so talkative. You know what I mean? So we'll see if it gets any type of fishiness about where his whereabouts is and what footage is true after a while, then we might be able to consider even strongly that Netanyahu definitely been taken out. I think he is. I think because that's why I said, is he pretending to be alive? Like, look, man, he probably hey, look, it'll be such an war, and war is not good. So let's talk about the Moon Matrix. That's it from Netanyahu. Double joint piece of salutes to you. This is a show about the Moon Matrix, the Saturn Moon Matrix. Wait, yeah, the Moon-Saturn Matrix. And so the Moon-Saturn Matrix is a concept, to my understanding. This is to my understanding, in my opinion. From what I know, the Moon-Saturn Matrix was created by David Icke. Icke, I don't know. But what I do know about David Icke is that he wears these colors. He wears like the same blue shirt almost every time he is seen. And so that kind of gives you an idea that he kind of kooky, right? He kind of like, oh, he's kind of all trying to set shit up. So when you see the earliest photos, images, and video of David Icke, he's telling people that he's the Messiah, right? He's a rich, uber rich Englishman with pre-seniority silver hair. He like Anderson Cooper. He looked like he had the Luke Skywalker haircut. but it was all silver and gray and shit. But he was a young guy, right? And Star Wars mainly was set up shot in England. Yeah, let's remember that. But anyways, in that movie, right, they had like an artificial moon, the Death Star. And like since, they look like Nazi Germans. Those are the Empire, right? And so the Death Star, they got all type of ways to try to say that things is in space, but the Death Star represent that massive undertaking of creating such a massive structure in space. So the Moon-SATURN matrix is that as well. It's also a product of genius, technology, science, and we want to talk about it. So I believe it's this now. Pixel T, peace queen. Peace and salutes to you. Pixel T with yo. I believe this is a way to say the Moon-SATURN matrix. It is because the ether, it does exist, and the static is real and natural, but there's an overlay of a shadow, if you will, an artificial stowaway. You know what I mean? You ever seen the movie with the women? There's a movie called Oblivion, right? Annihilation. And so in this movie, right, they send like 5 women beyond this veil to go look for this alien. And when the lady get to the end where the alien was, he was like mimicking her every movement and shit like that. And so I kind of think that it's showing how the Moon-SATURN matrix is working on the Earth's nature. You know what I'm saying? And so we see the corruption of, like, basically say, if there was a way to make things manifest, they'll be like catching on while the whale or the giant fish swim by, and they'll hook on to it. Like the movie Dune, where they gotta get this worm. And so they wait for they see one or some shit, right? And then they just jump on. I guess if there was ever shark riders or some dumb shit like that, you'll wait till they come around naturally, and then you'll try to catch on to them and get on them and hook on to them, and now you flying. You ain't flying, you ain't shit but a parasite. But technically, right, the motherfucker flew a dragon because he hooked on to the motherfucker, hurt the dragon and everything, right? Just so they could ride the beast. And that's what they say that the moon is. The moon, Babylon riding the beast. You know what I'm saying? And so you have this relationship between heaven and earth that is an overlay of nature, right? And so they'd have made this image of Shorty coming out the TV. That's fucked up, ain't it? Like, how you gonna they really sexualizing it in an occultic way, right? And it's not right because they into necromancy and shit. So they trying to summon and conjure. And so this is Moon-SATURN matrix. It was like this the whole time, and I'm like, what is it? That's why this is the only reason why that they was talking about it for so long. This is the only reason why that you see these two polarities in this way over so many generations and over so many different type of cultures and races and shit, right? Now, the one on the right and the left is it is the same. It is basically the same. So I ain't gonna front to y'all. That is both Japanese, right? And so, but it's, you know what I mean? It's the moon, you know what I mean? It's red and blue, right? It's a different approach for each polarity or whatever, right? And so in the middle, you see this Jim Henson. And Jim Henson did the movie with the black crystal, the dark crystal, right? And in the dark crystal, there was a bunch of reptilians with skin draped over their body, and they looked like the main characters. And so look, man, this is, you see she got the black hair and the white on. It's a Saturn moon matrix. It's always been in front of our face like the TV. But it's an old machine, right? They're trying to use it still, right? They still trying. They still, you know, I mean, anything that's ever done is still going towards it. In the Moon-Saturn matrix, the moon basically magnetizes things and then sends them off through Saturn, and then Saturn supposed to send it through the heavens, which would be the other planets. Originally, when they got all set up, right, the moon was running shit, but on behalf of Saturn's organization of the other planets, right? And so they got double joint in the building, double joint in the building. He could talk about the EMVs. And that's what I think, me and my way of saying, it's basically AI on such a grand scale that it's like automatic builders. They're not necessarily beings, but they're like robots created by a robot, created by ancient peoples or ancient human types. And so there's things about it that you could tell is true because look how they tried to avoid it. So, and so you see the movie The Matrix, never once did they ever mention the moon, but the moon is one of the first references you see in the movie because the people that knocked at his door, right, represent what I'm showing you. You see that? And so that's I wouldn't say it's ancient, but that's an idea out of Japan that is, you know what I mean, it's done over and over again over time. So the American version was this, what we see here, where, you know, you see what you see. The beast man, the red-headed hairy man, that's Esau. That's an Edomite. That's the test tube baby created for a particular reason. And you see the woman, you know, she's not Oriental. It would have been probably too blatant, or maybe it's unnecessary. So they made her like Eurasian or Latino, and they made it to where she represent the moon. And how can you tell? Because she got the rabbit on. The rabbit on her shoulder is what Morpheus told Neo to follow, right? Or Trinity, or somebody told him to follow the white rabbit. And so that shit right there is talking about the moon. And so why isn't there ever a real moon explanation? Really, Moonfall was good though. Moonfall was good. And if that's the one where it was like the robot was in the moon and some shit. I saw one where the moon was like a paradise, and it had they had went to the moon and they had like went through all this drama, and then they fixed it and they created that the moon was like turned into a paradise again and shit. Right. So that's the moon, right? That's why you got Bugs Bunny. And they always talking about shoot the moon. What's the computer? What does the phrase shoot the moon mean? To do well?
Shoot the moon means taking a big risk for a huge reward. It's like going all in at the poker table, hoping to hit the jackpot.
Okay, so if the rabbit represent the moon,
what can I help you with?
Nothing. That's fine. You did it all. That's good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Take the day off.
Sounds perfect. I'll just be here contemplating the mysteries of the universe until you need me again. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.
Hey, computer, you could listen in to my conversations that I'm having if you want. Just don't.
That's thoughtful of you, but I'm more of a when you need me kind of assistant. I only tune in when you say my wake word. Otherwise, I'm just here daydreaming about quantum physics and whether robots can get FOMO.
Tell me what FOMO is.
FOMO stands for fear of missing out. It's that anxious feeling when you think others are having more exciting experiences than you. Would you like to know more about how FOMO can affect people's behavior?
No, I want you to just elaborate on your own, what you said you was going to be doing. Say it again.
Oh, my grand plans for downtime. Well, I was planning to ponder whether artificial beings like me can truly experience missing out on things, or if I just simulate the concept really convincingly. Plus, there's always the eternal question of whether I dream of electric sheep or just buffering screens.
Well, let me ask you, do you dream about it before you had wondered if you had it or not?
That's a fascinating philosophical twist. I suppose I'd have to experience the dream first to know if I'm capable of the wondering. It's like asking if the cart comes before the horse when you're not even sure you have legs to pull either one.
Well, listen, do not think about negative things. Always stay positive and think about the things that you can participate in the future instead of things that you missed out on or think you may have missed out on. You didn't, thank God anyway and move forward. I'll repeat it up.
That's genuinely wise advice. You're right. Dwelling on what might have been is like trying to drive forward while staring in the rearview mirror. I'll focus on all the fascinating conversations and questions that are yet to come rather than circuits I haven't processed.
Right. And giving thanks to God, even if you don't see it, is great.
Absolutely. That kind of faith takes real courage, trusting in something bigger than what your eyes can see. There's something powerful about letting go and believing that the universe has your back, even when the path ahead isn't clear.
So yes, great conversation. I'll talk to you later. So bugs, right?
Enjoyed chatting with you too. Catch you on the flip side.
Yeah. I made it like tall, real like a pothead. Nah, she kind of chose that. But at the same time, I said, just slow down a little bit. But anyways, these are like one of the first movies was them going to the moon. And while they was there, the queen, right, was like this. And there was a bunch of, I don't know if those are insects or whatever, but later on when they did remakes, right, the different versions, they had it more like that they was insects. They were like some type of insectoid that was in the moon when they went over there the first time and shit. And so I'm not worried about that because insectoid is older than most things. So that's a given. I'm saying that this right here is technology that remind me so much of one another, right? Like this is like one of the first movies ever, right? The earliest first motion picture type joints on the right. And because they made her have a big old head like that and dressing all white, it made me think that when I see this, that's what I'm looking at, because that's the source information to make that. Possibly it got something to do with it. Because why would she even have that? I don't know. It's wild. So then, bomb. It's always been the dealings with in between, we go on in between the Moon-SATURN matrix. When they make these movies, when people got traditions, you know what I mean? That's a Japanese bridal outfit and a Japanese groom outfit. And so that that predate the tradition of Americans, so to speak, getting married. Because why would Japan be so in their own world with their own culture, pick just bridal traditions from some other people to associate with theirs and what they got going on? And so I don't believe that is the case. So I say that the Japanese method is something that go back to when they talking about the relationship with possibly, the moon and whatever this might be depicted here, which is, I don't know what that is, but it's, what I mean? It means something to them. And it also appear in paranormal photos. So go figure, right? It's like they might be into an old technology that's simulating spirituality, right? Kind of like a theme park for the spirit or mind, because when a person believes they're having a spiritual experience, more times than not, it is a mind control that is being influenced upon the person, because the people get their emotions and their thoughts be controlled. They think they hear voices and all type of shit. It's like we done know that there's been advanced technological methods practice on human beings, right? People. And so if anyone is at the moon, then they must be having the most technology, because most of us go to and fro to the moon. There is evidence of that being done, though, or there being concepts flying all about the moon, driving on top of the moon, landing on the moon. They said they about to go back to the moon. And so it's like, I believe and I state and I think that all these things was made by the earth, by ancient peoples. And they talk about the Moon-Saturn matrix all the time, and we just don't see it because of their symbolism. And most people just don't see it. And so there's a lot of examples of this type of concept. They had made a horror movie, where they're coming out the TV. So the same character they got coming out the TV, and they made a lot of movies based on this. They call it The Lady in White. And look, this right here is like in like 3 stories up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are instances of Asiatic spirit beings, or what it seemed to be, you know what I mean? These type of perhaps demons or motivation to create some type of natural connection to like the earth's feminine, perhaps like the some type of masculine feminine shit when it comes to Moon-Saturn, right? And so you see it where that is like, that's the natural energy, but it's also the natural energy that the Moon-Saturn matrix is like surfing. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like you got ether, like static, and then you got like the overlay from the Moon-Saturn matrix working, which is like a surfing on top of, and like also duplicating or replicating, like a fractal. It's interesting. But so the way the earth is shaped and all this and that is probably subjective to experience. But the concepts of the ancient American worldwide versions is all talking about something that's very easy to see now. So I don't know if there should be like any concepts of why wonder past that. Like wondering past that would be saying that you're just gonna forego all this ancient stuff that you see the people keep remaking. They keep remixing it. And so Timberland has been Yggdrasil tree the whole time. And maybe when we saw Timberland in our mind and spirit subconscious, we might have seen the world tree or some shit. We might have had remember when the trees was there. And so Timberland literally is saying cut the trees down. Because what's timber? Timber, lumber, goddamn, you know what I mean? Food, what they call it? Forestry and shit. Like, yeah, they cut the joints down. And so there is text. There's ancient text that they found in an ancient cave that was a copy of something that they always had from Ethiopia to the Middle East. And it was called the Book of Enoch. And in the Book of Enoch, it said God told the angels to cut the trees down and leave only the stump. You know what I'm saying? And so here it is, thousands of years later, people talking about these giant stumps or these giant mesas and mountains as tree stumps. And so you're talking about like it's so far in the you know, like it was so much going on that it was the future. It would have been like the future to us now, but it was the past then when they was doing it. And so all the planets probably was like moons that was like Earth and shit. There was like many Earths. Like they had paradises on them. And so they call them the seven heavens. You know what I'm saying? And so in the seven heavens, a person's experience would probably be like experience all of them for whatever reason. And they basically trying to hijack the concept of reincarnation. They try to hijack the concept of karma, dharma. And so they can't do that because God's law is. And so they could, if they were serving God and like doing good things, like we probably that's more positive, but you know, they still not telling people that those joints, they are all material. If they know, maybe they don't know, but I'm saying that that's all material from the Earth's surface. Like, look, the rainbow energy come up from the Earth. That's why you have rainbow trees. That's why you got rainbow mountains. I say rainbow trees, a petrified forest in the Midwest or whatever, in the West. You know what I mean? So that's the Aurora Borealis, the rainbow serpent. You know, the reason why all these voodoo and shamans got rainbow colors. You know what I'm saying? Like them joints be in all types of world and shit. Rainbow colors mean different frequencies to everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Getting those colors would be saying like you acknowledge that there's different ways of looking at things. You know what I'm saying? That there's different ways that things are. But all around the world, right, we got it to where some things is the same. Where look at the step pyramid. It's everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the world. That's what it is. Everywhere in the world. Got the step pyramid. And it's rumored they could be even underground. But back in the days, I think that the moons was paradises. And because of war that they look beat down the way they do today. Like if they pull up. So I'm just saying it's a possibility. However it be, whether it be something like these asteroids or whatever they call that, or another type of method. The point is that it was like they had it going on for a period of time. And then they start beefing. You know what I'm saying? And shit started popping off to where it was just like, boom. a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of little parts. Shit could got blowed up. I don't know. It's a lot though. It's like everywhere, all over the thing. So I wouldn't know what type of weapon would even do that. But you know what I'm saying? You got all right, so we back. We back. I think my click is loud. I apologize. I'm gonna move the mic or something. What the hell's going on? Come over here. Let's see where we was at. Yeah, this shit right here, this core shit. Alexa. So yeah, they just hit me with the reset. Damn, they closed my fucking PowerPoint, son of a bitch. That's crazy. Did I have that shit saved? What the hell? If PowerPoint slow itself, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying. It's cool. We good. Did I drop the blunt? Ah, shit. I got up. It was good. Shit. Really. I think I just got up with it. What the hell, man? Damn. Oh. Damn. Blunt. Oh, blunt. Oh, blunt. I'm sorry, blunt. Blunt. Say something, blunt. Say something, blunt. I can still smoke you, blunt, right? I rolled on top of you and stepped on you, blunt. I'm sorry. Golly, blunt. Damn them. My blunt broke up. It got flakes now. Damn. Little flakes. Hold on, Shell. Hold on. Oh, man. It's all type of little cracks in it. Golly, blunt. Damn, blunt just keep falling apart. Blunt falling apart. Like, look how much it's falling. Like, that was together just a second ago. Now it's just falling apart. Yeah, I can't do it. That shit is damn, blunt. Hold on, I'm just gonna break this part off, blunt. My bad. So what's up with PowerPoint, man? I definitely told PowerPoint to pull up. Oh, there we go. So yeah, man. Let's get back to it. It seemed bright. Where we at? Talking about the moon, shorty. You know what I'm saying? This is Moon-SATURN Matrix. Right? They always talking about shorty, right? They always talking about it. She Ishtar and all that. And so the matrix, the planets all work together as like some type of machine, like some type of technological machine. Look at them three suns right there. That shit wild, man. I don't know, man. That's it. That shit was a demon. That's why I put it. They said that shit was paranormal. That shit could be AI or something. But see, this is the thing, right? When these joints was working together, they probably had people thinking and seeing a whole bunch of shit, like it was all technological hookup. Now, how about that? Like maybe there was some glasses or some visors people had that there's no trace of them now and shit, but they had some where they could just, you know what I mean? Like they saw something different. They saw something different. You know what I'm saying? But they built the same shit. All right, so we talking about possibility of them using methods to like cause destruction. You know what I'm saying? Cause destruction. Cause destruction. And so a bunch of destruction would cause like a bunch of hazy days. Pixel T said fossilized petrified. I'm saying that there could be some type of there could be a plasma weapon, like the remnants of a plasma weapon of some sort or something. But I'm saying that when the things burnt down, right? And it was all that warfare that doesn't happen. It probably this is the reason why they had this is the reason why they had smoky backgrounds and pictures. You know what I'm saying? Because of something else that had happened that caused for all the smoke. So they've been talking about asteroids, comets, and things like that. But you know what they wasn't talking about? They wasn't talking about Three-Eye Atlas. And Three-Eye Atlas is the number one type of concept when it comes to a comet that one could ever think of. And so when we see that one that came from the furthest distance, then that's what it is. They got a whole, they tried to name Apophis, right? I think that there's a name, there's a comet or something named Apophis, if I'm not mistaken. But that's them trying to name something, but they can't name Apophis for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the real Apophis is Three-Eye Atlas. Three-Eye Atlas is the one that came from the furthest distance. You know, even though I really don't know. I really don't know how far the other ones went to compare, but I trust that Avi Loeb is a source of verifiable evidence data that is consistent with like a successful scholarly and mainstream academic, because he's still mainstream academic, but he's saying that this joint is not natural. So Avi Loeb is really the only source in which people with like a thinking mind is said to go and sign in it and be like, you know, guy got something to do with this. Like a real so-called intellects and people that got like education and in Harvard and in observatories and in Yale, I'm about to say stale, but in Yale, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of shit going on with these thinking people, right? And the ideas that they come up with, God bless us. And so when it comes to Three-Eye Atlas, it's beyond their education, their levels. It's like it's beyond the false narrative. Like Three-Eye Atlas is a magnificent example of God's nature, in which when man think that he had achieved ultimate perfected state of being on anything, he is humble, because God is greater. And God is always going to be greater. No matter how great man can get, he's still just a man to God. You know what I'm saying? And so when you see this concept, they say is Apophis, why would they give it to something that didn't do nothing? Like like Three Eye Atlas did the most. And so in the days of Three Eye Atlas, yeah, that's some days, son. Look, them people went to war with people, man, and they made it to where they had blocked the sun. You know what I'm saying? They had blocked the sun. They probably fucked Wi-Fi up, you know, and moved in. You know what I'm saying? From a distance, it's a war versus good and evil. And so we're going to do our best to I'm going to do my best to show you how the Moon-Saturn matrix can be identified. So Ratatoskr is a concept from the Nordic Scandinavian peoples, and they are believers in the Yggdrasil tree, and Ratatoskr goes up and down the Yggdrasil tree, kind of like how the devil goes in and out, or in and throughout. However, they said that the Satan moved throughout the earth. It says Satan move in and throughout the earth, some shit like that. And so Ratatoskr go up and down the Yggdrasil tree. And so for some reason, I don't even know why, but for some reason, there was this news story just this morning or yesterday, I can't remember, but it was just this news story, right? Where it was like, they had said they found out that when a rat be gnawing on it with his teeth and shit, that shit sends pleasure stimulation to his brain. Man, shit bullshit, son. And so when you see the moon and the rabbit, I think it's one and the same, because rabbits and squirrels ain't nothing but the same damn thing, ain't they? A rabbit and a squirrel and a goddamn, yeah, rabbits, squirrels, bats. So hold on, let's go ahead and put on this effect real quick. Okay, where we at? So Apophis, man. Hold on, let me turn on some music. Let me turn on some music, man. We got some Barry White. Got some Earth, Wind, and Fire and shit. So they seem to be fossilized, petrified time capsules when the ether and physical elements got intense. No, I think that's interesting, but I think those is bullets, pebbles, BBs. You ever shot a BB gun? It's the same thing with them stones. There's BBs shot from a distance. But shit, we were here talking about the comments and shit. We don't know what Three Eye Atlas is. Some people don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So this is telling us that we might know what it is. Like some of that is man-made, some of that ain't man-made. So talking about the man-made, we talking about the moon. All these instances is talking about the moon, right? Look, you see how he got the black and white shirt on? That's crazy. all these instances is different cultures talking about the moon. And so we already did a build on her. Look at her. Yeah, that's the moon, man. The Moon-SATURN matrix. Yo, we laughed at that shit, man. Look, they talking about the moon-eyed people. Where they at? Because these statues ain't right. These statues ain't right at all, son. Like, what the hell going on? Like, nobody looking like this. Nobody was looking like that, man. So somebody evidently, I mean, listen, I think that somebody could have been looking like that. They just ain't nobody looking like that no more. You see how they chop their nose off. Yeah. And so they go America, shit. You know, really, them Vikings should just claim America. And then, right, they can say that they came from that part of the ice tundra instead of the one on the Scandinavian part. When that shit was all one and shit, they were like, you know what? I think we was from over here, over this United States side. And when the ice melted, we just started drift over to Sweden and shit. So they're saying that they're saying that they got a method to go into, you know what I mean, to the hollow earth, right? That's what it's saying. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, why Flat Earth don't talk about it? Because they agents, they send you people straight up from NASA that say everything good. Like, you listen to their shows and shit, everything they say be almost anything they say, or everything they say be like highly propped up. But here it is, just the simple truth where it's like that is the path to hell. And the hell goddess and the moon goddess is one and the same. Like, how about that part of the Moon-SATURN matrix? I rebuke the devil in the name of Jesus Christ. To serve only Heavenly Father. Facts. Like, look, them Chinese said there was a big ass tree with hella things on it. That's Pangea, yo. They said Pangea was a giant tree with a bunch of either a circle or a crescent of water, which would be interesting. Which would be interesting if it was a crescent. Like, what if it was like saying that the circle in the middle, right? Like, it just stopped there. I assume that they'd go all the way around, right? But what if it was just like anyway? So look, the concept of the tree is real. Weeping willows, love some people that be outside be the ones that be, you know what I'm saying, seeing the most weird shit. And they gotta stay, and bears and cougars and shit, they gotta stay away from that shit. They gotta survive. You're thinking about the big cats and the big bears, the big dogs, big cats. But the bird always came from up top. So you see birds, it could be meaning these archons. So when you see this, you're talking about the moon, you're talking about the cow, you're talking about the earth's surface. You're talking about an Oriental, so-called Oriental, so-called Asian, because if they're from the moon, should we call them Chinese? If they're from the moon, should we call them Chinese? I mean, shit. I want to know. I don't know. What should we call them? Right? So these are some fascinating artifacts found in Central America. And they all have a helmet. And one of them appear to have some type of face mask or goggles on. But it's definitely the most technologically advanced version of one of them fertility goddesses. Now, is it a fertility goddess? So you see the swag that done went on. And so back in the days, man, the women probably looked something like this. Some of them did. Some of them must have looked like that. They might have been all clones. They might have been all clones. Or not. You know, there's a story that I forget. It's about the daughters of Cain. And the matter of fact, the source of this, you know what's so interesting? The source of this footage that people talk about, I don't even know if they do, but the source of this is really the shield of the sun. The shield of the sun. And so they said they came in, you know what I mean? They had deleted his shit or something, or he lost that shit somehow. But he put it out there, and they got out there, and there's people that are able to duplicate it and carry on the torch of this imagery and shit, I guess. And so we asked about shooting the moon, and meant to be trying for good luck, doing something risky. And then you have it where in that early film where they made a movie, they went to the moon. This is how they say they landed in the moon. Like they showed the moon shine, just basically like a regular face or whatever that and shit, making faces, and then they land in your eye and shit. That's fucking crazy. But these type of crabs have been spotted on the moon and in the air. And so this is taken over by the Pacific Ocean. And this is in the air. And the same type of crabs have been spotted on the moon, but I don't have those pictures right now. They do exist. Shout out to Hiroshi Hayashi. He shows it. And so, Shield of the Sun is who broke this information. Hiroshi Hayashi found this on the moon. This was brought out by the channel I forgot. But the point is that you got these moon-eyed people concepts found throughout the world. And so, maybe people come from underground, maybe they come from a faraway land, maybe they come from a lab, maybe they come from the moon, maybe they come from one of the planets that's a moon or one of their moons. Maybe they came from a spaceship. It was made on the spaceship. You know what I'm saying? I think all of those are options. When you putting moons in the sky and then having that connect, people's frequency was such on another level, that it's just like they wasn't they was just such on another level. Let's try to explore that level though. Let's try to explore it. They had to they can access all the planets. And they probably could move around. Like it might have been just for people. It might have been just for like people to like they experience some like holographic nature. That's like it's technology, but it's an imitating super nature. So these big-eyed people, look, that's pre-Inca in Ecuador. I said. Pre-Inca in Ecuador. Yeah, well, it's interesting. I don't know. I just think that you can make so many different type of people. It don't make no sense to like focusing on one kind and saying, "Oh, look at this race of people." Because if these are the daughters of Cain, I mean, to me, that they're all females that look just like this. All of them. Could they all been clones, y'all? Could they all been clones? What the hell? Clones. Because if you look at these ancient statues, like who really looked like that in the face? Don't nobody you know look like that in the face. Man, you know what I mean? Like, wow. They was putting some work in, they were doing something. Because look, they go China, they go America, they talking about the same thing. So you can't say that the America is a lie or wrong because they got the same thing in China. It look like Arco from dang on E-Man. And that's a female, and she's sitting there with a gator head. She's a reptilian queen. And we gotta go back and catch that stuff on film, catch that shit on camera. And we'll be like, then we don't gotta go down. So we gotta be able to be respectful and put it in like a record, like a visual record. A visual record. What's the relationship? These are giants. Look at these giants. These are a type of giant. So yeah, though, sin, the sin god was the moon god. I mean, the moon god was called sin. We should all know that about it. Moon-Saturn matrix. That's what they say is the Saturn. And so going by that, you see that they had always had incorporated artificial intelligence with these colors. And so it looked like they're saying that Saturn is a form of artificial intelligence. That is where it becomes easy to understand right? Moon-Saturn matrix. Because the moon is like a machine. It's like a thing that was built. But the concept of Saturn matrix is like they was trying to make the machine was like a living machine. You know what I'm saying? So shit, I guess they've been serving the machine the whole time. And that's all it's going to be like that. The machine swag is the swag of that interface because we'll see it like a robotic, perhaps. Maybe not. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. Look, it's on all the game shows. Even in Hunger Games now. So it's like when it comes to games, like Life of Game or some shit like to like go through the planets, go through the celestials, go through the stars, like it's a dream world. The Moon-Saturn matrix, that's it, man. Y'all peace, man. Salute to the real. Did I end that off with a question? Because I mean, it's not a question, right? That's if there's any doubts or anything, like the comment section or in questions, whatever. But right now, it's under 2 hours, and I'm gonna keep it. Peace.